When it comes to keeping your wheels rolling, Advance Tire has you covered. From passenger and light duty to commercial and agricultural tires, they stock all major brands and sizes. Their team handles mounting, balancing, tire repairs, rotations, and motor vehicle inspections quickly and reliably. And for hard-working local farmers, Advance Tire offers on-the-farm tire repair service to keep your operation moving. Family owned for 17 years, Advance Tire is proud to serve the Bethany area with fast, dependable, community-rooted service.
Bethany Building Center is your locally owned source for quality building supplies, lumber, hardware, plumbing, and electrical needs. Whether you're starting new construction, tackling a remodel, or putting up a pole barn or shed, our team is here to help. We're proud to carry a full line of steel power equipment, including trimmers, chainsaws, and pressure washers, as well as trusted power tools from top brands like Milwaukee and DeWalt. Bethany Building Center, everything for the builder and the do-it-yourselfer.
Okay, CF Rainey here on another Sports Central interview brought to you by Harrison County Community Hospital. Joined again by South Harrison varsity wrestling coach Kasey McFall. And Coach, it's been a while. We had Christmas break, and then I was out of town for a week, a tournament all last week. Maybe catch us up. I know you guys had some stuff right before Christmas, and you've been fairly busy. Just kind of give us an overall picture of where the team is and where you've come over the last few weeks.
Yeah, so we've been really busy. Right there before Christmas break, we wrestled at the Battle of Katy Trail in Sedalia, and we did pretty well. I think there's 50 boys teams there and 44 or 45 girls teams, and our boys were we were in the top 16, so pretty good. There's a lot to improve on, but overall we wrestled really tough, really hard. And then right after Christmas break, we got really busy. We jumped right back into it. We had the Mid-Buck girls tournament, Mid-Buck boys tournament Friday and Saturday. The team did really well, competed there. I believe we took 5th there as a boys team, and all 3 girls placed in their brackets. Then the next week we went to Lawson, wrestled Lawson Lone Jack, and had the Plattsburgh boys tournament on Saturday. We also took 5th there. So we had a few individual champs there, Craig Coffey, Ruger Johnson, and Ethan Smith. So that was a really good tournament there. And then girls wrestled this Monday at Plattsburgh. We went to Cameron last night, and then tonight our girls are wrestling at Lathrop. So we've been busy.
Yeah, all over the place. And so we have a home meet. First home meet, we'll be broadcasting live streaming it on Thursday, and that's a triangular meet. And so when you get the chance to have home meets, and I know being around South Harrison for a while, it seems like we don't have a ton of home wrestling meets. How's that allow you to really showcase your program to maybe some people in the community that aren't familiar with wrestling?
Yeah, it's awesome. So Thursday's our senior night. Albany and Plattsburgh, or not Plattsburgh, sorry, East Buchanan are going to be there. So it'll be a great opportunity to showcase what we've been working on, what our kids have been working so hard for this year. Hopefully we're able to go out and put on a good show, and I hope everyone can make it, and there's a huge crowd there. We have an awesome class of seniors. We got 9 of them, 8 boys and 1 girl. And I would probably say it's the biggest senior class that South Harrison Wrestling has ever had. So I hope it's a full house, and we can show what we've been working towards.
Yeah, and you have a number of people you mentioned with how big the senior class is, and some wrestlers that have been wrestling since they were little kids, and it kind of comes to the end. And wrestling's kind of one of those sports like football, Coach, and you know it from playing both those. You don't play pickup wrestling when you get out, right? You can play pickup basketball, you can play slow pitch softball or something, and so for these kids knowing. For most of them, if they don't go on and wrestle in college, that this will be the end. It's really meaningful for those kids because you mentioned USA Wrestling and all those things. Some of these kids have been wrestling since they were, in kindergarten or something, and now you're getting the opportunity to show up and do that, knowing this is probably it as we get through this senior year.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's not it's a tough sport to do for the rest of your life, and if you're not going and doing it in college, it's pretty well done unless you want to coach. So, I'm just proud of these seniors that we do have. That they have been wrestling for a long time. Most of them, the ones that haven't, they're bought in and they love it. So I know they're going to give everything they have for the rest of the matches they have in their career.
And so then we come up after this one, and I don't know if we'll talk beforehand. We may wait next week and do this on Thursday, but you've got conference coming up. And so looking at conference, I'm sure you've seen some of these teams and some of these wrestlers. How do you feel like you guys are set up as a team, and maybe mention some individuals going into conference next week?
Yeah, so conference this next week. It's a big tournament for us. It's a tough tournament. Not a lot of schools in our conference anymore, so the brackets are rather small. But it's a very competitive tournament with Brookfield, Marceline, us. Maysville's got some really good wrestlers. Gallatin's got some really good wrestlers. Polo has some good wrestlers. So the brackets won't be full by any means, but the wrestlers that are there are tough. And we have a couple returning champions. I think Cray was definitely a conference champion last year at 215. Ruger Johnson at heavyweight. Ethan Smith. I think those are Tate Akins. I think he was a conference champ last year too. So we're in a good spot. I feel good about it, but it is a tough tournament, and our goal is, just like always, just go in there and compete every single match and come out better than we were when we went in.
Well, and it's interesting you mentioned there's not a lot of conference teams that wrestle, but all those teams you named are teams that have been historically good in wrestling. So it's not like there's a stinker in the conference, that there's a school that you're just like, oh yeah, these 2 or 3 schools aren't any good. I mean, conference-wise, you're going to see about as good a competition as you will even once you get into districts, right, as far as how the GRC set up in wrestling this year?
Yeah, the GRC is tough, especially with Brookfield and Marceline. Both of those teams were they took plaques home from state last year, so it is tough, and both those teams have pretty well full lineups, so that makes it all the more tough.
And so I was talking to one of the wrestlers today, and I'd ask him, I said, hey, how's wrestling going? Excited to watch you on Thursday. And he said, well, I'm not having as good a year as I thought I was. And I told him, I said, well, the great thing maybe about wrestling compared to other sports, right, if you're in basketball or football and you're 1-8 or something like that, that record really kind of comes in the rest. Wrestling, you can turn your season around here with conference and districts coming up late in the season, even though maybe you haven't had the year you thought you were going to. Maybe talk to that a little bit, how getting stronger towards the end of the season can turn everything around, where that doesn't happen very often in like football or basketball.
Yeah, that's one thing that makes wrestling so great, the individuality of it. You can start off the season bad, and we've had a lot of wrestlers over the year who don't have a very good first half, but that's why I always talk about peaking at the end of the year, because it doesn't really matter if you lost 15 matches before districts or 20 matches before districts. When you enter that district tournament, the season starts over. So yeah, your seed might not be great, but with wrestling you can beat anyone on any day. So you just got to bring your best every single day, and that's just something I try to preach to the kids.
So let me ask you this. You mentioned some of those individual wrestlers as far as conference goes. Is there also a team champion when it comes to conference?
Yep, there is.
Okay, so you get that. And then do they split that out, boys and girls, or is it all combined in there?
Yep, it's boys and girls split up. So there's 2 team conference champs.
Okay, and this year, girls-wise, I'm trying to think, are you right about the same number of wrestlers as you've had before on the girls' side?
This is the most I think we've ever had, with 5, and that number is going to keep growing next year. It's going to be 7, 8, maybe even 9, and it's just going to keep growing and growing. But yeah, we're at 5 this year. We got 2 that are beat up and haven't been wrestling here recently, so we've been at 3. But yep, our number is 5.
So real quick, we'll kind of close with this on girls wrestling. Number one, a lot of people may have grown up, they didn't have wrestling at their school. I remember at Albany we didn't have it, and then they added it when I was in high school. And there are a lot of smaller schools that people are from there don't have wrestling at all. Girls wrestling, girls could wrestle all the time, but just over the last couple of years they've got their individual where they're wrestling against each other. Maybe talk about how that's helped to grow girls wrestling, so they're not wrestling against boys. Competitions continue to grow, and how that sport on the girls' side is really growing.
Yeah, girls wrestling is the fastest growing sport in America right now. It's blowing up, and just getting their own, making it their own sanctioned sport, where they're only competing against girls is helping tremendously because they're seeing a lot more success, and when you have success, more people want to do it. So, yeah, girls are even at small schools. I think Tarkio has a really good girls program, and they're a lot smaller than us. But schools like Midbuck and Lawson, Lone Jack, we wrestled Cameron last night. A lot of those schools are pretty well full, so they're getting 15, 20 plus girls out for wrestling, and it's awesome. It's growing like crazy.
All right. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. Man, I'm excited to be out. I've got Jeremy Van Meter's going to help me call it. I brought in a ringer to help me call wrestling since it's not a sport that I know as much about. But we're excited to showcase your team on Thursday night, and then good luck next week in conference. And we'll look forward to talking to you after conference and hopefully talk about all the conference champs that you all brought back.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm going to have to watch it back. So thank you, CF. Thanks for everything you do for us.
All right. Thanks, Coach.